Alrighty, I think we are live. Doo-doo-doo. All right, looks like we are live. All right, so just give me a few minutes, guys. I'm just pulling up some web browsers and things like that. Nope, not that. All right. Alrighty, looks like we're live, guys. So today I'm just going to be doing a chill stream, talking to you guys about my life and things like that, doing a Q&A. I'm actually pulling up a bunch of question and answers to answer on web browsers. But if you guys have any questions about me that you would like to know, please feel free to put it in the chat and I will answer it as best I can. And also, apologies at any time if my stream kind of cuts out. It will probably tend to do this because my internet is really bad. But I've been wanting to live stream for the past few weeks and just never got around to doing it. So I might be doing some gaming streams, but I want to do something like this first. So yeah, so I'm just gonna be on here answering some questions, and like I said, if any of you guys are watching this and you want to see it, or you have any questions that you'd like to ask me about my channel or anything like that, let me know. So yeah. All right, I'm actually gonna pull out this and just put this up here. All right, so I got one thing that has 350 questions, so I can answer some of these. All right, what weird food combinations do you really enjoy? God, I don't know if I really have any like weird food combinations. I typically just eat standard stuff. Oh yeah, I know one that I recently started doing. Doritos and Parmesan cheese. That's a weird one for you. Yeah, I recently started doing that because when I made baked mac and cheese for Thanksgiving, I actually started. We have this big old bag of Parmesan in the fridge that just doesn't get used. So I was like, you know what? I'll sprinkle this on some Doritos, and it's really good. So it's mostly junk food, but still nice. What social stigma does society need to get over? Don't even get me started. There's too many things, and I'm not even going to get into politics. There are way too many social stigmas that people need to get over. What food have you never eaten but would really like to try? I guess sushi. I haven't had sushi before, mostly because I'm just not somebody who likes seafood. But I've been wanting to try sushi. What is something you really resent paying for? Okay, are we talking about consequences or actually buying something? Because if we're talking about paying for like buying stuff, there's a lot of shit I regret buying because I wasted money on it. Like, because a couple games that I bought on Steam that just were absolute trash that I don't even play, and I paid like $5-10 for each of them. There's been a couple times where I bought stuff on eBay, and it ends up just not even being like a thing that works. Like I remember back in 2016 when I first started my other Cooper Gaming channel, I was buying like a bunch of like different stuff for my computer setup and things like that, and a lot of it ended up not working, so I ended up wasting money. So yeah. Do you think aliens exist? Not really. I'm not really someone who is all that superstitious of stuff like that. My sister actually watched a documentary about like aliens and shit like that, and she was watching it. I think it was called Ancient Aliens. It's on like the History Channel or something like that. What are you currently worried about? Finding a job. That is my biggest thing I'm only worried about right now because I quit my job working at Sonic back in October, and I haven't found another job since. But it took me 10 months to find that job, and it's kind of disconcerting because I don't know if it's because of COVID that I'm not able to find a job, or if it's just you know the fact that nobody's hiring. Because I mean, my sister goes out and looks for places that are hiring, and she'll text me. She's like, "Hey, this place is hiring." So I put in applications. I've put in over a dozen applications already, probably over 3 dozen, and I have not heard anything back from anybody. So my goal is to try to get a job in the start of 2021. I'm trying to do retail. That's what I want to do. I don't want to go back to doing fast food. What are some unusual places you've been? I can't say I've been anywhere unusual. Um, I mean, I could say maybe the mortuary, which is the New Orleans haunted house, and that actually has actual ghosts in there. Um, but other than that, I've never been to anywhere unusual. Even when I traveled, I haven't been anywhere unusual. Where do you get your news? On my computer. First time I open up, every time I open up Edge, I see that. And I don't particularly watch the news. I occasionally gloss at something, like glance over at certain things that if I think they're interesting, or if it like is something that is of interest to me, I'll glance over it. But more than likely, I don't watch the news. I'm not really interested in politics. What are some red flags to watch out for in your daily life? A lot. Can't even begin to start describing how many there are. What movie can you watch over and over without ever getting tired of? Wow, there's a lot. God, there was a bunch of movies on Netflix that I talked about. Let's see. The number one I can say is Black Hawk Down, Sandcastle, Netflix original. There's so many. There's just so many. There's a lot of war movies that I love watching. We Were Soldiers. That was another good one, which I want to watch that again. I really need to watch that again. But yeah, like there's even shows that I can watch over and over again without getting tired of, like Longmire, Death Note, Baki, King and Ashura. There's a lot. When you're old, what do you think your children will ask you to tell stories about? I have no idea. I don't even know if I'm going to have kids. I'm 24. I still got my whole life ahead of me. My sister's got a boy, so I don't know. I mean, maybe my nephew will ask me want me to tell him stories. I mean, that's all I can think of because, like I said, I don't plan on having kids. If you could switch, to movie characters, what switch would lead to the most inappropriate movies? Oh God, that's a tough one. I'll think about that one later. What inanimate object would be the most annoying if it played a loud, upbeat music while being used? Fuck, I don't know. A controller, I guess? Maybe. When did something start out badly for you, but in the end it was great? I'm not sure. There was a lot of things that started out badly for me, but ended up being okay. I guess I could say my first job when I first started working at Sonic, I was like really worried that it was gonna be a bad job, and it got stressful at times. I was having to work night shift, and I didn't like that because I would have to get up at 5 a.m. every morning to go to work, depending on no matter what time I went into work, and I was going in from work from 2 to 10, so I was working 8-hour shifts. And like I said, my family and I, we all get up at 5 a.m. in the morning. We leave at 6. We go out there to where my sister's store was at, and I'd sit there for hours and hours on the day before I even went into work. So I was basically bored, or I would try to sleep before that, and it would just be boring. But when I was working there, it was really stressful. We had a lot of angry customers that came through because sometimes we would screw up orders or something like that, and that was one thing that got me stressed out because there was even one guy that came into the store one time and threatened to shoot the place up because he said his order it took us 30 minutes to make his order, something like that, and it was because this was during rush hour, and everyone was coming in like lunch, so it was really stressful. And he came in like first, but then everyone else started coming in. We started working on other orders and stuff like that. So, but yeah, but in the end, I did like working there. It just didn't work out for me. So yeah. What animal would be the cutest if scaled down to the size of a cat? Hmm. Maybe a lion, I guess? I don't know. Lion, tiger, leopard. If your job gave you a surprise 3-day paid break to rest and recuperate, what would you do with those 3 days? Relax, chill. What's wrong? What sounds right, but sounds right? There's a lot of shit that's wrong, but sounds right. Um, what's the most epic way you've seen someone quit or be fired? Wow. So this is something that I can actually tell a story about this because I was waiting for an opportunity to tell this story. So when I was working at Sonic, we had a lot of kids working there, like 17, 18-year olds, and they just started working their first jobs. Um, and we had one guy who had basically, like I said, there's a lot of these, but I'm going to try to name off the one that was actually the most bizarre one that got fired. It was actually three people that got fired in one day. So there were these two kids, a 17-year-old girl and an 18-year-old boy, and they come into work. Um, they went to the back and we didn't realize that these two were actually involved together. So we just like, oh, I don't know where they're at, but I was getting off my shift, and she was supposed to come take over my position, and basically she had she was in the back messing with him, like they were like goofing off, like being all lovey dovey and stuff like that. And so we were like, whatever. But I told my manager, I was like, hey, can you go tell them to come over here because I need to clock out and I need to make sure that someone's on my station, so that way it doesn't become hectic for y'all. So told them to stop screwing around, come back up there. She gets on the station, they do all their things, and I clock out and leave. And then throughout the day, the girl and the guy still kept screwing around. And the reason why we found out about this was because one of my coworkers, who was this sweet girl, she was deaf though, but her manager knew how to speak sign language. So the girl mentioned to her, she's like, "Hey, there was something going on yesterday between this person and that person." And then she mentioned it to her manager, and she was right to bring it up because had we not found out about this would have probably been going on for a lot longer. Basically, after I left work, and I was surprised that I didn't go there. After she told him that, we're like, all right, we started looking over the cameras and the footage to see, because apparently throughout the entire shift of night shift, they weren't at work. They had left, and they were sitting in the back screwing around with each other, and they started getting sexual. And basically, she started making him feel up all on her, and we were watching the footage, and we're like, oh boy, here we go. And immediately red flags are going off in everybody's head. We're like, this guy is going to go to jail because the girl is underage and he did not have the permission from the girl's parents to basically interact in a sexual remark. And also they basically were having sex on on a company property. So what ends up happening is one of the guy's buddies sees him doing it, and sees that they're fooling around, and he drops his keys. And you see in the camera, you see the guy drop his keys in the bottom right of the camera, and then he says like, "Hey man, go out there and go have a good time." And what they didn't realize is that everyone that was working there, they had at one point, our manager told us like, "Hey, be careful what you're doing. The cameras are always on. You're always being watched." A lot of people took that for granted and thought, "Oh, they're not on. Like nobody's gonna see us." And the camera was literally panned right on them, and they're sitting in the back screwing around. So then the guy grabs his buddy's keys. They go in the car and they have sex for an hour and a half. Nobody knew where they were for an hour and a half. And because we watched the back camera where the back door is to the outside, and the car is literally parked right where the back door is. So they just hop in the car and they sit in there for hours, for like over an hour and a half. And we're sitting there watching, and we're like, how did nobody know where they were? Because the managers weren't apparently watching them. And this was during night shift, and night shift is more hectic than day shift, even during rush hour or lunchtime. So they were gone for an hour and a half, and nobody went looking for them. And then later on, you see the managers come out through the doors. They look around, and they don't see them. The reason why they couldn't see them was because the car that the buddy had tinted windows, so you couldn't see inside of the car at all. So it was the perfect cover for them. And The managers are walking outside. They're like, "Where are they at?" They didn't know, and apparently they went inside. After that, they went back inside. Time went by, and then they finally went back inside and they started working again. Nobody knew that anything had happened unless that our coworker had brought it up. And then when they witnessed that, they're like, "All right, they're getting terminated," along with the guy who gave him the keys because he was a part of it. So the very next day, um, girl comes in and they're like, you got to go outside and we got to talk to you. And they basically told her, "You're fired for violating company policy. Sorry about this, but you got to go." Girl was girl left crying, and she was all upset because she lost her job. And then the buddy shows up, and then they tell him like, "Hey, we saw what you did on the cameras. You're an accomplice in this. You got to go." And then the guy basically threatened to shoot the place up once again. This guy was threatening to kill everybody in the place. Cops were called. He ran off, and then the cops went after him and picked him up. And then the girl came back later, and she had basically came into the store, and I was in the bathroom. I come back out from the bathroom, and I just hear her screaming like she's at the front door and she's going to leave out. And she says, "Fuck all y'all, I'm gonna blow this bitch up." And I'm like, what the fuck happened? Because like when I saw her outside, because we were all being nosy. We're like looking outside. We're like, she's getting talked to. She's crying. She's breaking down because she realized that she messed up. But then she gets all angry and threatening and then does that. So basically, and of course the boyfriend didn't show up because the buddy tipped him off to it. He said, "Don't come to work because he was technically having sex with a minor, so he did get arrested for that." But yeah, that was the funniest thing, or the most bizarre thing that we had happen there. Um, and aside from that, I mean, we had a couple people fired because they just weren't coming into work, or some people just said, "Fuck this job, I don't want to work here anymore." And then they said, "All right, well, you can go." So they left, and that's all that was to that. But that was the most bizarre thing that happened. Um, and then we had one guy trying to make up a bunch of excuses as to why he didn't come into work. He was no call, no show for 3 days. And the work rule is if you are no call, no show for 3 days, you automatically get terminated. This guy apparently said that he told the manager about how he had a doctor's appointment, this, that, and the other. And it wasn't the case. The guy just was going off with his girlfriend and hanging around because occasionally the guy's girlfriend used to work at our business, but she got fired because she said, "I don't want to work." She was like, "Okay, don't come into work." She would come in the next day. "I don't want to come into work." "All right, leave." Manager told us, if you don't want to come into work, don't even bother showing up. The girl would come in just to say, "I'm not coming into work," and then she'd leave. And I'm like, really? And this was someone who was supposed to relieve me on my work shift. And I would have to stay like an extra hour because she wasn't working because they had to find someone else to relieve me, to take over my position because this woman wasn't coming in to do her job. But other than that, like I said, that was the most bizarre thing that happened. I haven't seen anything epic. What's something that will always be in fashion no matter how much time passes? There's a lot. A lot of things will be in style. Leather jackets, for example, will always be in style. Wearing black, I guess. In the past, people were buried with the items they would need in the afterlife. What would you want buried with you so you could use it in the afterlife? My computer. Oh, man. Who do you go out of your way to be nice to? I don't have to. I don't have to go out of my way to be nice to anybody. I'm a naturally nice guy. I'm not a dick to anybody. Where do you get most of the decorations for your home? I don't decorate my home. And this isn't even my house, this is my sister's house. What food is delicious but a pain to eat? Huh? I've never pain to eat. Like, are you talking about a nuisance? I mean, I could say maybe like spaghetti or Alfredo because the noodles like sometimes fall off your fork. Maybe soup. I don't know. Uh, what was the last photo you took? Fuck, I don't know. I'll show y'all my photo, whatever I took. What was my last photo? Sorry, guys. Oh, yeah, this. Jerry Johnson, Damn. I was looking up this on God, I can't remember, but I was looking up that song because I heard it on TikTok and I was like, I like this song. So that was the last photo I took. What is the most amazing slow motion video you've ever seen? There's too many to name. I couldn't give you an answer to that one. Which celebrity do you think is the most down to earth? Yeah, there's a lot. I would probably say maybe Johnny Depp, I guess. What would be the worst thing to hear as you were going under anesthesia before heart surgery? This is gonna hurt, I guess. I don't know. What is the spiciest thing you have ever eaten? Probably wasabi. I haven't eaten anything too incredibly hot. I haven't even gone to I haven't even eaten like any of the hot peppers yet. I don't want to because I've seen how people do it. My friend and I are planning on buying the world's hottest chip in that little box. I think that's $20 or it's 10 or $20. It's one of the two. We want to do that for fun. But as far as I could say, it's probably wasabi. What's the most expensive thing you've broken? Probably either my laptop or my TV. Because I remember there was one time, it was in 2015, I was playing on my laptop. I was playing Advanced Warfare, and I was playing Exo Zombies, and I was trying to get to like round 20. That was my goal after I just completed the campaign, because normally what I do for Call of Duty games is I play the campaign first, then I play multiplayer or zombies. And I was going at it for hours. It was like midnight. I got pissed off, and then I just punched my monitor or my laptop, shattered the screen, and then I made up some excuse to tell my mom. I was like, "Yeah, it fell off my desk, and it hit the corner, hit something on my floor." I didn't tell her that I smashed my monitor because I see my monitor. I didn't tell her that I slashed my laptop with my hand. I think it was like a $400 or $500 laptop. So, what makes you roll your times every time you hear it? There's a lot of things that make me roll my eyes. What do you think you are much better at than you actually are? Making YouTube videos. Should kidneys be able to be bought and sold? I mean, no, technically. When was the last time you got to tell someone I told you so? Probably was when I was with my friend, and he was trying to do something. I can't remember what he was trying to do, but we were hanging out, and he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna try this," and I'm like, "It's not gonna work," and he's like, "I'm gonna do it anyways," and I was like, "I told you so." So, what's your cure for hiccups? I would say mostly just drinking water and holding my breath. Um, um, What's the most interesting building you've ever seen or been in? There was a cool truck stop that I went to in Iowa. I cannot remember the name of it. I want to say it wasn't Route 66. It was something. It was something similar to that. But it had this giant ship, like a pirate ship inside of it, that had all kinds of like novelty stuff on it, like made it look like an actual pirate ship, and it looked pretty cool. What the hell? Oh, sorry. And it was a truck stop place, and it was really cool. What mythical creature do you wish actually existed? I don't know. Maybe centaurs? I don't know. What's your most important rules when going on a date? Be respectful and be a gentleman at all times. What is the most unsettling film you've seen? Oh God. Um, I there's a couple of movies that I haven't seen, but there's one that I know of that is very unsettling. I think it's called Adam Chaplin. If you guys look it up on YouTube, basically it's a movie about a guy who's I don't know if it's his girlfriend or his wife gets murdered by this really weird cult, and the guy basically asks a demon for powers to crush his enemies, and this little demon like basically says, "Oh, I'll give you power," but then the demon basically takes over his body, and then he goes on a rampage, killing people. I want to say it's a foreign film. I want to say it's like French or French or Spanish film, one of the two. But it's called Adam Chaplin, and it's a really gory, bloody, bizarre movie. And it's an old movie, so it uses the not phony, uses the cheap effects of like just like water with food coloring it to make it look like blood, and it just is insanely gory and stuff like that. So yeah. When was the last time you were snooping and found something you wish you hadn't? A couple months back. Um, let's see. Some of these I'm not answering because like they're just too bizarre or something that I can't answer. Uh, what's something people don't worry about really should? COVID. I can say that for a fact because there's so many people getting sick from it, and so many people that are dying because they're not being careful with everything. Um, because I mean, hell, my one of my cousin's kids got sick, and they have I think 6 kids, and then they have 2 infants in the family. So basically, everyone's got in that part of the family's got COVID, and they're all under quarantine. Because they're the kind of people that are like, oh yeah, no, that's it's nothing. You won't get sick, and they basically tell the kids like, don't worry about wearing your mask when you go to school, and they're like 10 years old, and so the kids got sick. So there's a lot of people that take it that don't worry about stuff like that, and I don't say I worry about it, but I am very wary of it, and I am very careful. I still go out and I wear my mask if I'm out in public because I don't want to risk getting sick. So yeah, what movie quotes do you use on a regular basis? Huh. God, I can't think about that one. I would say I use quotes from other people a lot, not necessarily movie or TV quotes. Do you think that children born today will have better or worse lives than their parents? They will have much better lives because people that are growing up, that grew up in the past, from my experience, had it really rough. Um, I think a lot of the kids nowadays are going to be very spoiled, and they're just the kids nowadays are ridiculous. And I'm ashamed to say that I am technically part of the millennial group, but I don't really consider myself a part of it because I'm not like a lot of these other kids out there. Because me and my best friend, a lot of my friends are technically considered millennials. So yeah, when was the last time you felt you had a new lease on life? I guess when I moved in with my sister, after traveling with my mom for a couple months, because I was like, oh, I don't know if I was really stressed out with her because she was traveling, and I didn't want to do it. I traveled with her for 4 months, and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want a new start. I want to try to go out and get a job and stuff like that. And she's like, yeah, we'll let you stay here. So yeah. So yeah. Which charity or charitable cause is most deserving of money? Oh God. Well, we got the World Health Organization. Um, I would say probably them because I think they're the lead in everybody that goes around that deals with COVID and stuff like that. What TV show character would it be the most fun to change places in with for a week? Hmm. God, I can't think. I don't know. I can't think. As I've watched so many shows and things like that I can't think of anything. What was cool when you were young but isn't cool now? If we're going off of my opinion or of someone else's opinion, like if someone's saying like what was cool then but isn't cool now, I would say probably spinners, paper spinners. We had fortune tellers, and then we had poppers. That's something that I grew up with using, which is basically a paper that you fold over and then you pop it. And that's something that we did in school a lot, but I don't think people know about it. Um, uh, mm, what goal do you think humanity is not focused on enough on achieving? God, I don't know. That's a tough one. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's a lot of goals that aren't being met with everybody in today's society. Um, I don't know. What problem are you currently grappling with? Getting a job. What character in a movie would be great? Could have been great, but the actor didn't they cast didn't fit the role. Uh, God, I'm trying to think. I mean, there's a lot of new movies nowadays, like where they're doing remakes of movies, where they're just terrible. Um, I could say maybe like the Death Note movie where they had the new guy. They could have casted so many better people for that. What game have you spent the most hours playing? God, that's a tough one. That's a very tough decision based on Minecraft, Zelda, or some one of the Resident Evils. Hmm. I would probably say maybe Resident Evil 4 or 5. Those are the two most games that I played the crap out of. Um. So yeah. Um. What movie, picture, or video always makes you laugh no matter how often you watch it? I guess Markiplier, like all these YouTubers that I watch, like they will always make me laugh. And rewatched so many old YouTuber videos. I watched Angry Grandpa videos, stuff like that. I still watch those. Um, what artist or band do you always recommend when someone asks for a music recommendation? Netflix is one I say a lot. Linkin Park, 3 Days Grace. So yeah. Oh man. What's the most addicted to a game you've ever been? Ooh, that's a tough one. It's kind of in reference to the other one, which game I've ever played the most. I'm trying to think what game was I addicted to the most back in the day. I would maybe say Twilight Princess because I remember in 2006 when that game first came out, I played that game every single day and I still play it to this day and it does not get old for me. So yeah, there's that one. What's the coldest you've ever been? I think the coldest it's gotten for me has probably been maybe 25, 29 degrees, maybe 30. There was one time where we got snow in 2017. Do you eat food that's past its expiration date if it still smells and looks fine? No, I do not do that. My family has a tendency to do that. Like my mom does that a lot, where she's like, oh well, if it says best if used by, like that means it's still good after that date. And I'm like, no, I eat it before that because I don't trust that label. Because if as soon as that date goes up, that means that mold's already starting to grow in it. No matter if it's being refrigerated or not, it's already going bad and it's becoming stale and stuff like that. I don't do that because I've had many times where I have eaten something where I didn't look at the expiration date and I've gotten sick off of it because it was like the first thing I ate that day, and then I went out and or throughout the rest of the day I started feeling sick, started throwing up a lot, and I was like, yeah, no. And I look back at what I ate, and I'm like looking at the ingredients. I'm like, all right, did I eat bad bread? Did I eat bad cheese? And a lot of times it's bad bread, and I wasn't paying attention. And there was one time where I was a kid, and I had eaten a Reese's cup. It was one of the. It wasn't a can like a candy. It was like one of those calorie things where you could actually buy it in a pack, and it was more healthy supposedly. And it was late at night, and the lights were off in the kitchen, so I snuck out of there because I was trying to steal one of them to eat for breakfast. Next morning, I was throwing up, being sick, and then my sister found the wrapper in the garbage, and she said, "Did you eat this last night?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Yeah, those were expired. I could have told you that." And I was like, "Oh." So yeah, what's the most ridiculous thing you have bought? Uh, I haven't bought anything ridiculous, really. Um, mm, I can't say I've really bought anything ridiculous. I'm looking at my room, like, see if I bought anything ridiculous. No, I haven't bought anything ridiculous. What's the funniest comedy skit you've seen? Oh God, there's too many to name. Gabriel Iglesias, Cat Williams. Like there's so many. There's too many comedians in skits to even name. Um, God, Michael. I can't think of his name. Michael Blackson was another guy that was funny. Um, what outdoor activity haven't you tried but would like to? I would say mountain biking. Problem is we don't have mountains out here. What songs hit you with a wave of nostalgia every time you hear them? Oh God, there's like I said, once again, too many to name. Early 2000 songs like sorry guys, I thought I heard somebody in my house. Um, oh God, I'm trying to figure. Like I said, there's so much music and stuff like that out there. Like I'm saying, early 2000s, like NSYNC, uh, Bye Bye by NSYNC, I guess. I don't know. Uh, I'm Blue song, I guess. What's the most interesting documentary you've ever watched? I haven't. I remember I watched a documentary about how the world was created, and it wasn't interesting. It was bizarre. Like I'm some kind of the person that doesn't like hearing about that kind of stuff because it makes my mind messed up. It's like it makes me question everything. What's the last song you sang along to? I actually sang a song earlier. God, what was it? I was listening to it earlier this morning. I can't think of what it was. God, I gotta look it up. It's a TikTok thing that goes, "You can say what you like, but you know I would die for you." Ah! I'm trying to think of it. I think it was. I can't remember the name of the song. Shit. What the hell's the name of the song? Oh, Trainwreck by James Arthur. Yeah, Trainwreck by James Arthur. When was the last time you face palmed? Couple days ago when I watched a really ridiculous cringe video. Which of your bad habits would be the hardest to give up? Oh, I'm trying to think of what a bad habit of mine is. Oh, I know what it is. Leaving the stove turned on because I've been doing that for the past few days, and I almost burned the house down. I did that for 2 days now, and that kind of pissed me off. What really needs to be modernized? Can't think of anything that's not modern. When was the last time you slept more than 9 hours? Probably the last few days. Sometimes I sleep for up to 12 hours at any given day. How comfortable are you speaking in front of large groups of people? I guess I could be okay. I mean, the last time I really spoke in front of a large group was back when I was in high school for ROTC, like talking about, I was basically recruiting kids to join ROTC when they came to high school. What's the worst example of procrastination? God, I don't know. Doing a project that you need to get done, because that's the one thing that I procrastinated a lot about, was doing my school projects. What was your most recent lie? God, I don't know. I told my mom that I was sick when I wasn't. I guess that was a couple weeks ago. When was the last time you immediately regretted something you said? Probably a few minutes ago, a few hours ago. I do it. I say a lot of stuff I regret a lot of times. What bit of trivia do you know that's very interesting but also very useless? I don't know. What's the silliest thing you've seen someone get upset about? When Trump got voted president, with college students were crying and bawling their eyes out, acting like babies. That was one thing that I saw. As a child, what did you think would be awesome about being an adult but isn't as awesome as you thought it would be? Working. It sucks. When censorship warranted? I guess nudity. When someone is saying very vulgar things, I guess. I mean, there's a lot of things that are censored that I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they're needed or not needed, but I know it's like nudity is one thing. What current trend do you hope will go on for a long time? I don't really know of any current trends because I'm not all there with all that stuff. What actors or actresses can't play a different character because they played their most famous character too well? God. There's, once again, way too many to think of. I can't think of anything, guys. God, what was it? It was someone that I was wanting not them to replace from a movie. God, I can't think. Maybe Brian or Paul Walker, I guess. Maybe. What's something that all your friends agree on? God, I don't know. Fortnite sucks. I don't know. Oh, man. What languages do you wish you could speak? I kind of wish I could speak Japanese because I do want to go to Tokyo or Japan one day. What's the most pleasant sounding accent? I would say British or maybe Irish. What country is the strangest? There's too many to name, like Indonesia or something like that. I don't know. Who do you wish you could get back into contact with? Oh God, man, there's a couple of old friends that I wish I could start talking to again, but I just haven't seen for a while, and I don't talk to any of my old high school friends. because they just lose contact. And I only have I honestly truly only have one true friend. Maybe I got a couple, maybe three or four. Well, like the one person I actually hang out with all the time is my one true friend that I've known for 16 years. How do you make yourself sleep when you can't seem to get to sleep? I pace around. I walk around the house. I tire myself out. If people receive a Purple Heart for bravery, what would other colors represent? I mean, white stands for purity. Or not blood. Red stands for sacrifice. I don't remember what. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what colors would represent what. Um. What's your back in my day? I don't know. I'm gonna say, I guess I could say, like, back in my day, we didn't have TikTok and stuff like that. We didn't have any kind of platform like that. I mean, hell, I lived in the day where we had MySpace. Back in my day, we had MySpace, is what I could say. I kind of wish that it was still open. I don't know if it's actually active or not, but I think I made a MySpace, but I never used it. What would be the most terrifying animal if it could speak? Maybe a snake or a snake, spider, or shark. That's my three that I can think of. What's the worst hairstyle you ever had? Oh, that's a good one. So back in middle school, I wanted to have a mohawk, like a short buzz cut mohawk, not even a spike one. I just wanted a short buzz cut mohawk. But for some reason, when I cut it, my sister cut my hair and she buzz cut all the way down. She asked, I had really long blonde hair, so my sister asked me. She said, "Do you want to keep your tail?" Is basically what we call it, because that's what my long hair was. She said, "Do you want to keep your tail?" And I said, "No, you can cut it off." So she cut my hair off, and what she ended up doing was she cut it off like from here up. So my mohawk ended right here. It stopped right here at my head. It didn't go all the way down. So people laughed at me for school for that. That was one thing that I was embarrassed about, because I woke up the next morning not realizing how short it actually was, because I went like this. And when I heard it stop right there, I'm like, what? It was supposed to go all the way down, but it didn't. My sister cut it way too short. So, because she asked me, she said, "Do you want your tail gone?" Because I had long blonde hair that went down to my collar, basically. And I thought she was talking about just cutting off the tail and leaving it where my hairline ended. No, she cut it off she cut it way too high. So it looked like someone cut half my mohawk off. So, which is basically what happened. And yeah, I hated that. After that, the next day I shaved my head. I was like, I'm not doing that again. What habit do you have now that you wish you started much earlier? Oh man, I guess I could say editing. Well, it's not a habit. I don't know. When was the last time you yelled at someone? God. Probably like 4 months ago, maybe. I don't know. I got no fight with my sister. If you could hack into one computer, which computer would you choose? Are you talking about across the entire world? I don't know. I don't want to ask that question. Because I'm not interested in hacking. I've come across too many hackers online to be interested in hacking. What's the most historic thing that has happened in your lifetime? I guess maybe receiving a national award from ROTC. That's just, I mean, I don't know. What is blown way out of proportion? I have no idea, guys. When was the time you were acted nonchalant but were going crazy inside? A lot of my life. because I suffer with depression. So my life was crazy a couple years ago. Um, um, just trying to think of some of these other questions to ask or answer. Some of them I just can't answer, guys. What's the scariest non-horror movie? I can't say that I've seen anything that's not actually a horror movie, but it's a scary movie. What's the grossest food you just can't get enough of? I guess I could say those cookies that they make at Walmart, the generic cookies that they make for every month that people apparently hate, but I like those. Um what movie or book do you know the most quotes from? Can't think of any, guys. What's one of the most interesting concerts you've been to? I went to no, it wasn't Yanni. I did go to a Yanni concert one time, but no, I went to the Trans-Siberian Orchestra during Christmas. So I went to the Christmas Trans-Siberian Orchestra concert, and it was a very, very nice concert, I gotta say. I went back there like in 2011 or 12, and I wish I could go again, but I have never been able to go back. Where are you not welcome anymore? I can't think of any places that I'm not welcome. I've never been kicked out of any place. What's the most recent show you've binge watched? Seven Deadly Sins. That was a great show. I'm waiting for the new season to come out next year. What's a common experience for many people that you've never experienced? There's a couple things. I can't think of any. There's one that I'm not going to say. What are some misconceptions about your hobby? Well, my hobby is making YouTube videos, and people think that it's hard, but it's not. Or, I mean, I'm sorry, people think it's easy, but it's not, I should say. I didn't realize that I said that backwards. A lot of people think it's really easy to get started on YouTube, but to me, it's not, because I've been doing this for 6 years now, and I've never made it a job, technically. I've never earned money off of it or anything like that. So, yeah. What did you Google last? Oh, I don't know. Shit. Let me look it up. What did I Google last? Oh, 101.9 radio. Yeah. I listen to a lot of Christmas music now. I listen to it on there because I don't have a radio in my house. What's the dumbest thing someone has argued with you about? Oh God, there's a lot of dumb shit that me and my friend have argued about that we didn't need to be made sense. What's the saddest scene in a movie or TV series? Oh God. TV series. Let me think. I could say like The Walking Dead when when Glenn and Abraham were killed. I guess that was a pretty sad one. But that's the one thing that I remember like blew up on TV. What's the most frustrating product you own? Something that's frustrating that I have. I can't think of anything, guys. What qualities do all of your friends have in common? We're idiots and we're open-minded. What odd smells do you really enjoy? New car smells, new clothes smells, and New game smells and new shoe smells. I like those. I really enjoy those. Uh, what's the best lesson you've learned from a work of fiction? Um, God, I'm trying to think. What did I? There was a show that I watched that actually taught a really good lesson. Oh God, it was a show I watched. Uh, Shit, I can't think of it, guys. I'm sorry if I a lot of these questions. I'm sorry I can't answer. What food do you crave most often? Um, I wouldn't say it's a food. I wouldn't say it's food. It's a drink. I crave like soda a lot. That's why my one craving. Like I have to have a soda every day. And I know that sounds unhealthy, which it is, but it's not as bad as people think it is. um, which apocalyptic dystopia do you think is most likely? I don't know. I mean, I've seen a couple of apocalyptic things where people are dying from a disease. I mean, we're facing a pandemic, so oh god, I don't know. There's so many that I could name, but we're not in an apocalypse, but we are dealing with a pandemic. Shit. I'm trying to think. I can't think of anything. Um, uh, what's the most anxiety inducing thing you do on a regular basis? Oh god, something that gives me anxiety. I mean, I do have really bad anxiety, but I'm trying to think of something that gives me on a daily basis. I guess whenever I try to like cook and I don't want to burn something or I don't want to undercook it. I get a little anxious about that. What's something that everyone agrees we should change, but it never changes? There's too many things to name for that one. What trend are you tired of? Oh God, there's so many on TikTok that I'm sick of. There's too many trends that I'm tired of. What's incredibly cheap and you would pay way more for? Um, I don't know. There's some foods out there that I think are really cheap that I would buy more of. Like I've seen like prices of meat sometimes that are like really cheap, and I'm like, damn, that's like a really good deal. Or like I saw like there was a big 1 pound bag of fries which was only $1, and I'm like, really? That's not that bad. I thought that they would be like $5 or something like that. Um, what's your grossest bug story? Okay, so this is a pretty good one. I was a kid. This was years ago. I was like 7 or 8, and I was putting my shoes on to um to go somewhere, and if I don't know if you guys have ever known this, but cockroaches give off a really weird smell, like cockroaches really do. Um, and I went to put my shoe on, and there was a cockroach in my shoe. Now I had a sock on, but I went to put my shoe in, and I don't know if it's a smell that cockroaches give off. I don't know if it's a defensive thing or not, but like whenever they're like being attacked or something like that, it gives off a really weird scent, like a really gross smelling scent. I was putting my shoe on and I started smell. I felt something on my big toe, and I smelled something really weird. I was like, "What the hell is that smell?" And I smelled, and I'm like taking my shoe off. I thought there was something on the bottom of my shoe. I went to go flip my shoe over, and a cockroach fell out, and I was like, and then it ran across the floor. I'm like, ah, and I was like, my shoe didn't smell like like feet or nothing. No, it smelled like a really weird stank smell from the cockroach, and I was like, oh, that was weird. That was gross. So that was probably my grossest bug story. Oh man. Um, what company do you despise? I can't say I despise really any company necessarily. Um, when was the most inappropriate time you busted out in laughter? It was probably in school when like the teacher was being very serious and a lot of us people were cutting jokes and I was like trying not to laugh. Uh, um, what word do you always misspell? Wednesday. I always misspell that word. Because anytime, like, if I'm like spelling it out my way, I'm like, oh, that's right. But then when I look at how it's spelled, I'm like, that's spelled wrong. What naps are the most satisfying? I was going to say maybe naps in the middle of the day. What's the weirdest thing you found lying on the ground or on the side of the road? Weave, hair, wigs. What's the funniest TV show you've ever seen? 2-minute name. What's the most embarrassing story from your childhood? Okay, so when I was a kid, we used to have, and they still have these, but I used to own a Chevy Silverado Power Wheels car, and I got it for Christmas. And my sister got a Barbie Jeep, and my buddy across the street saw it, and he's like, "Oh man, we want to ride it around." So like we drove it around, stuff like that. And I remember like we both traded turns driving, and then I was at one point I was like, "Hey, let me stand on the hood while you're driving." So I did that, and then my friend slammed on the brakes, and I went face forward and face planted into the ground, and I ended up getting a big old knot on my forehead, and it hurt. I thought I cracked my skull, but surprisingly I didn't. So that was pretty dumb. So yeah. Uh, uh, what's the weirdest text or email you've gotten? Um, I guess I've gotten like a bunch of text from like supposed porn stars. I've been getting those, which is weird as hell. What always cheers you up when you think about it? God, too many things. I guess when I think about someone who's being motivational, from someone that I watched that was being motivational and talks about something, and I think about it, and I'm like, I'm in a better mood now. Um, what is the creepiest tech out there? Oh, the the little I can't think of what they're called. I saw a video of it on Mystery Tech for Austin Evans. It was a US, not a USB. It was a phone charger that had a SIM card in it that had tracking in it. So basically, you could track someone when you plug their phone in. And like, I don't know if it's like location tracking or tracking what they're doing on the phone. That's creepy for me. Who did you used to look up to, but they screwed up and you lose faith in them? Some of my family members. What's fine in small numbers but terrifying in large numbers? Bugs, I guess. I don't know. Do you like things to be carefully planned, or you prefer to go with the flow? Carefully planned. What fictional characters have you had a crush on over the years? 2-minute name and some I don't want to name. I guess I could say probably Starfire and Raven. That's two characters that I had a crush on when I was a kid. Mm, uh, what story you've heard has stayed with you and always disturbs you every time you think about it? Oh, there was one, but I can't remember what it was. But I remember like it was like creepy. What was the most important appointment or deadline you missed? I haven't missed any appointments really. Like the only thing that I ever missed was like doing school projects that were assigned to me a couple days before, and I almost missed them. Uh, What did you believe for way too long as a child? I believe that Santa was real. And I had an experience one time where I was sleeping outside of my living room where our tree was in the house, and I could have sworn that I heard something on our roof that was walking around. So I thought it was Santa on the roof with the reindeer. And I told my mom, I was like, "Mom, I heard something," because I heard something. It sounded like it was on the roof Christmas Eve night, because like I swore that I heard Santa on my roof. Um. Uh. Uh. um. What's your favorite holiday movie? Maybe Rudolph. I guess Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. That's one I actually want to watch this Christmas. I haven't gotten a chance to watch it yet. Um. Uh. Uh. What did you like or dislike about where you grew up? I liked my old neighborhood because we used to have an old snowball stand right down my street, and we also had a gas station and a fried chicken place and a superstore and a supermarket right down our street. It was so convenient because I would always get the chance to go. I could take a 5-minute walk, go get whatever I wanted to go get, and then come right back. It was really convenient. Um, what's legal now, but probably won't be in 25 years? God, I don't know. I know people are trying to legalize weed. I don't know. Um, would you want the ability to hear the thoughts of people near you if you couldn't turn the ability off? No, I would not want that. When was the last time you stayed up through the entire night? A couple nights ago, sitting up playing games. What's the oldest thing I own? God. I would say my GameCube or my Wii, because the GameCube was from 2001. I'm sorry, not 2001. I got it from like 2005, and then my Wii I got in 2006. So that's probably the oldest thing that I own. If cartoon physics suddenly replaced real physics, what are some things you would want to try? Flying, I guess. I don't know. Jumping over, running on air, I guess. I don't know. Who in your life is the worst at using technology? My mom. She still has to ask me how to do things and stuff like that on her phone. What just around the corner tech are you eager to get your hands on? I mean, I'm not really eager to get. I mean, hell, I don't even want the new iPhone. I mean, guys, I have an iPhone 7. I don't want any new phone. I don't even want new tech. I mean, if I had the money, I would probably say the new Oculus Quest 2, I guess, since mine is broken and I need a new one. I mean, I don't know. But like I said, I'm not somebody who wants like really fancy tech. Like I said, I don't care for the iPhone 12 and all this fancy stuff. Like I don't need that. I just need a phone that is more modern. Because before this, I owned an iPhone 5 and it was terrible. Oh man. What was the darkest movie you've ever seen? God, I'm trying to think. I still haven't seen 50 Shades of Grey. I know that's a pretty dark movie. Shit. Darkest movie I've watched. Oh, I would say maybe Yellowstone. That's a more recent one that I watched that was pretty dark. I actually am going to watch the series of that too. What do you do when you hear something fall in the middle of the night when you're in bed? I immediately wake up and sit up. Well, not immediately sit up, but like I open my eyes. I'm like, ugh, because it spooks me a little bit. Not because I'm like scared like something's in the house. I'm like, no, but it's like something fries. I'm like, what was that? You know. Um. Uh. What was ruined because it became popular? Whew. There's a lot of things I could say about that. I'm trying to think what became popular that was ruined. Fortnite, I guess I could say, because um they've been taking over so many different franchises and stuff like that. Like they added God of War into the game. They added they're adding The Walking Dead. I've heard during Christmas they're adding The Walking Dead. They've added Star Wars, which is understandable. That's a pretty good franchise to add to that. But they added Deadpool. Um, they added Blade. Like they're adding so many different characters. Like Marvel and Disney I can understand those characters being there, but they're adding things like from God of War. God of War was ruined because of that. Because I saw that on TikTok and I was like, I'm angry right now, and I'm currently playing through God of War on my channel. And like the Mandalorian's not bad. I don't think that's bad. That's understandable because I think the Disney theme does kind of fit with Fortnite. I do agree with that. But like God of War is a rated M game. The Walking Dead is a rated R TV series, which involves blood and gore, and they're trying to make it like child friendly, which I don't like. So that's something that I think has been ruined. What outdated slang do you use on a regular basis? Ooh, I'm trying to think. What was a oh god, there was a phrase that we used to say back in the day that I still use to this day. I can't think of it. Um oh man. I can't think of the word. It was something that me and my neighborhood friends used to say. It wasn't a ghetto word. Uh shit. I want to say it started with a G. I can't remember the name of the word. Oh man. Um I guess maybe swagger, I guess. I don't know. What's the biggest realization you've had about yourself? I'm lazy. I mean, I don't know. What small changes greatly improves a person's appearance? Taking a shower, brushing your teeth. What topic could you spend hours talking about? God, video games and stuff like that. You know, I could animes, stuff like that. I mean, hell, there was one time where I went to a vape shop. It was like a couple weeks ago, and we ran into these two guys that were really into anime, and we sat there talking for almost an hour. And the store owner had to tell us like, "Hey guys, y'all gotta leave because we're closed." And we're like, "Oh, we didn't even realize an hour had gone by." What happens regularly that would horrify a person from 100 years ago? Too much shit, dude. Too much shit. I'm telling you, our ancestors would be ashamed of us if they saw the shit we were doing today. I tell you that right now. They would be ashamed of us. That's all I'm going to say about that. What do a lot of people hope will happen, but is just not going to happen? Oh, shit. There's a lot of shit people want to happen, but it's not. People want COVID to go away, but it's not going to happen anytime soon because there's people that are not going to wear their masks and not follow the procedures. And where I live, guys, if you don't wear your mask out in public, you get a $500 fine. And I've seen people that are outside that go into stores and stuff like that not wearing a mask, and I'm thinking, did they get a ticket at some point? But yeah. I already answered that question. Which way should toilet paper hang, over or under? I personally say over. What's the most physically painful thing you've ever experienced? God. I want to say dislocating my ankle. That was pretty painful. I was jumping on a trampoline and someone double jumped me. I came down on my ankle wrong and it twisted the wrong way. What horror story do you have from a job? Don't have any horror stories. There was people saying that the Sonic that I worked at actually is haunted because an old guy died in there, and I'm like, no. What's the most rage-inducing game you've ever played? Oh shit, there's a lot, but the one that I can think of right now is Modern Warfare. I'm telling you right now, that game is so fucking aggravating to play right now, especially since there's a lot of hackers on there and stuff like that, and people who are also using glitches to become invisible. I actually have footage of it, which I'm gonna post later, where me and my friend went into a lobby and this guy was invisible and had invincibility and invisibility because supposedly people are saying it's a glitch from you getting into a helicopter and you can jump out of the helicopter and you're invisible and no one can kill you. The only way you can die is to the storm. And we watched and spectated this guy and we thought he was hacking because there were three of them that were doing it. So we thought that they were all hackers, but people are saying, no, it's a glitch. And I'm like, whether it's a glitch or not, I still believe it's cheating. So that's actually deterred me from playing any Call of Duty. It hasn't happened in multiplayer, but it happens in Warzone a lot because there's a lot of hackers in Warzone. So yeah, that's the most rage-inducing I've been dealing with recently. God, what other games did I play that were rage-inducing? Shit. I would say maybe Dead Space. I raged a little bit at that game. What awful movie do you love? I can't say that any of the movies that I watch aren't exactly bad. I think a lot of people can agree that the movies that I watch are pretty good, that I say are good. What normally delicious food gets ruined when you wrap it in a tortilla? Oh, God, I can't think of anything. I can't think of anything, guys. One more question. If you were given unlimited resources, how would you lure the worst of humanity into one stadium at the same time? Posting an online thing saying that, hey, you want to make $1 million or something like that, come to here and you all can make money or something like that. I don't know, guys. All right. I guess that's going to do it for the stream. I've been streaming for an hour. There's actually a couple things I need to get done around my house, so I'm going to go ahead and end the stream there. Thank you all so much for watching. That's all that I've got for this one. I just wanted to do this because I was bored, and I wanted to see how the stream was going to handle. And it handled pretty well. This was also a test, like I said. So, yeah. So, thank you guys all so much for watching. I was just answering random Q&A questions, but if you have any questions that you want to know, let me know. So, yeah. So, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next time.